So my friend had bought this GT350 with about 6,000 miles on it, and he was able to get a hold of the original owner who put this Watson roll bar in. And it's a really nice system. I like it a lot. It has a rear seat delete. But the original owner still had the seats. And he had bought a new GT500, but he had all the old parts laying around. So I went over to his house and collected the seats, because my friend did have them shipped to him and all the hardware in that garbage bag there. And he asked me to take this whole seat delete and roll bar out and put the original seats back in the car. So this is just kind of how I went about it. I'm not sure if these wing nuts are original to the seat delete or not. And it had these star-shaped bolts or Allens in here too. But basically it just bolts in, and that's the nice part. You can see all the measurements there with the marker. That's pretty cool because, you know, if you look at this car 50 years later, you're going to see that it used to have a roll bar in it. And if you look at those bolts here that you take off, they actually have brackets underneath them that go in from underneath the car that are threaded. So if you're installing it, you have to get underneath the car and line those all up. But if you're taking it out, you just zip the bolts out and then the brackets fall down. Now I did have to get under there. I lifted the car and everything. I had to get under there and fish them out, but I didn't have to, you know, put a wrench on them or anything. So here there are two hex bolts or Allens or whatever they are, and you just pull those out, and since the back of the bars are all undone, you just lift it up and pull them through and out the trunk. And so that turned out very nicely. I used a rubber mallet, and then I just kind of beat it with my hand as well and was able to separate that. And then he was in the trunk and he pulled them out while I loosened them and just pulled them right through those holes. So that worked out real nice. Then I decided to pull the seat delete out next and just kind of snake it out through here. And then the big main roll bar has two bolts that hold it in. There's one back in here, and then there's one back in there, and they go into the side of the car. So you just unloosen those and get those out, and the harness does go up over the bar, so that was kind of hard to snake that out and stuff, but I did get that out. See, these side panels did have to come off. Luckily they just pull right out, and even the top window ones did too. But here's the whole back seat with everything gone. And then you had to go in and add the child restraint brackets and the seat belts, and so that's all a lot of work. There's more to it than you think. And these seat belts, you had to put them in, twist them around, and then get that bottom bolt and anchor them before you could get them loose, or at least I did, because it was really difficult. And then there's two more bolts hold them in. So here's that bottom bolt, and then I could loosen these and bring this bracket up and bolt it in. There's two bolts there, and then of course the one here on the bottom that holds it in place. And I put the seat belts back in, the lower back seat belts, and just bolted those in nice and tight. And it started to look pretty good again. Door panels out, everything like that. Nice project coming along here. So then I got the seats back in, and they bolt in just like this, and this bracket has one bolt there, and then these slide on each side. It's pretty easy. And then there's a bolt down here and the pull tab here. It opens and closes nicely, and that's how I tighten it down. I put the seat down and then tightened it, and I had to put these brackets in too. They're like called strikers, I think. And so got all that back together, but I was thinking something period correct about this Shelby is people buy these cars and they'll restore them one day, and this is what they're going to find in them in the future, just because of the era of what this car was through. But you know, you find old cars when you restore them, you find things that are period correct. So this is how the back seat comes out. It's pretty simple. You just push these tabs. I like that. It's a lot easier than they've been in the past. But that's how it goes in, and then you shove it down. So ran the seat belts around the door panels and got that all squared away, and then it just had these little covers, and a lot of people cut those off, and this one was extra. But anyway, that's the project. So that was it was a nice roll bar, but it did kind of obstruct the vision, and nobody could sit back there and everything. So I guess the guy was gonna track the car, but he ended up not racing it very much, and it actually got wrecked and then rebuilt, and he bought his GT500. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more Mustang content.